You can have Putrajaya with 5,000 voters with 1 parliamentary seat. And you can have Kapa, 120,000, 1 parliamentary seat. It's an opposition seat. We have destroyed all sense of fairness in the system. And of course, the famous ISA statement. Something must be very wrong when the question today in our country is why is someone associated with Rajapetra? That becomes a big issue. Headline. They asked me yesterday or 2 days ago, explain my relationship with Rajapetra. This is a Minister of Home Affairs. What has become? I have no relationship with Rajapetra, and certainly not a sexual type, no. I did not know Rajapetra for many years. No. The first time I came to know Rajapetra was when I was a minister. When Petra, one parliamentarian and one journalist, was detained under ISA. And then I was then a minister, trying to change the government, trying to tell them that we cannot use our power, we cannot abuse detention, the power to detain like this. And I resigned because of that. That's when I came to know Rajapetra. And why is it such a crime to be associated with Rajapetra? What wrong has he done? Is there a warrant against him? No. Is there a warrant of arrest against Rajapetra? Has he done something wrong? Is there a case against him? No. They have withdrawn the charges against him. So why can't I be associated with Rajapetra? Or why can't anyone be associated with Rajapetra? This is an example of paranoia. Of course, I see in the room there is also Mr. Bala. Where is Mr. Bala? And I'm sure there's some special branch officers here as well. And I am sure by the time I got back to Kuala Lumpur, they will be asking me, explain your relationship with Bala. I just met him yesterday. I'm honored to know him. I mean, you know. But why is knowing Bala such a serious problem? What's the issue? Here are 2 Malaysians. None of them have got any charge against them. There was no criminal charge against them. They were not convicted of any offense. But they left the country because for their own safety. And you can understand why if you follow the story of their predicament. Of course, the Prime Minister last night said in Pakatan, excuse me, he said, don't trust Rajapetra. Of course, we're not going to trust anyone just like that. But if Rajapetra or Bala have made some accusations or some serious allegations, it is incumbent on us to examine and to explain and to have an inquiry. That's all we're asking for. Why don't they do that? Why they keep asking silly questions like, what is your relationship? Why don't they announce today, we're going to make sure that ISA is repealed so that these guys are safe. We're going to have a proper inquiry, a proper investigation into the allegations made by Bala and Rajapetra. If we are satisfied with those assurances, I'll be the first person to recommend, to persuade these two to come back. I would do that. But why are they so scared of Petra and Bala? Why is it that they are in denial? Why is it that they don't want to face the issues? I think you know the answer. Because dictators don't like the truth. That is why when Zia killed Zulfikar, he did not even allow the family to have a look at the bodies of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. And not only that, they destroyed the jail in Rawalpindi so that no traces of any kind was found. And today you have a mall, a shopping mall in Rawalpindi. Do we have such a situation in our country? Yes. They want to obliterate the truth. There are many questions that are raised by these two gentlemen. And as a lawyer, I'm interested in the truth. I'm interested in a fair and impartial process to know. And if they have lied and defamed the leaders of the country, let them be punished. Because that's what our country should stand for. But of course, you're not going to get that in Barisan Nasional government. But I can assure you that when we rule, they can come back in peace. So you see, people ask me, why do we need to save Malaysia? What is it about the country that we have to save Malaysia for? These are the things. We want to give the citizens of the country a sense of pride in their own country, that we can live in peace, that we have our rights, we are a democracy, that we take care of all groups, of all races. That's what Pakatan is trying to do. And we do not want our citizens to live in fear, to fly to London, to live in London, to exile themselves in London because of the fear of their own safety. And this is important not only because of that's good for the country as a whole. But specifically for me, I want to say this. As a Malay, I'm embarrassed by this government, by their total disregard of values that are central, core values that we must, as decent human beings, subscribe to. As a Malay, I remember Hang Tuah's call. Hang Tuah, you know the story of Hang Tuah Hang Jebat, the Malay legend, the Malay warrior. And one of the things he said was, takkan Melayu hilang di dunia. The Malays shall not perish. But of course, Hang Tuah was far deeper than the UMNO leaders. Hang Tuah wasn't referring about 30% quota or scholarships or preferential treatment. He was talking about that we must never surrender the values central to the Malayness of our people. The values of respect, for justice, for fairness, for our ability to live with others in peace. That we should honor the strengths of the Malays. That is my understanding of it. Because otherwise, what do you fight for the Malays? What is it that you want to give the Malays? What values do you teach the Malays if you can make this sort of ridiculous, arbitrary punishment and rules that we have today? You know, as a Malay, today the Deputy Prime Minister, another of that kind, you know what he said today? He said, the Malays who oppose this government, they are dangerous and irresponsible. So if you're a Malay, you cannot oppose Barisan Nasional. I can assure you that when we form the government, we will never have ministers like this, talking like this. They are playing this race issue all the time, every day, because they want to divide us. The Malays are just like everybody else. We want a decent, fair government. Of course, we want our rights and expectations and our legitimate rights to be protected. Of course. And it will be protected. But we will not run the country like a dictatorship. We will not. We will not, when faced with some serious questions, our response, as Najib liked to respond. His typical response to serious questions is, oh, that's frivolous. You remember? Frivolous questions. You remember that famous tweet of his to Raja Baginda? He said, "Stay cool. I'm going to see the AG at 11 o'clock, or the IGP at 11 o'clock. When they asked him about that, he said, "Oh, it's a private matter." When a public official gets involved in a matter of a criminal trial, there's no such thing as a private matter.